What's up, guys? It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of What the Fitness. All right, we had content for this week, and then an overwhelming number of you sent this video to me yesterday of Dr. You know what they call the guy who finished his last in med school? They call him Doctor. Dr. Steven Gundry was on Lewis Ho's, I think that's how you pronounce it, The School of Greatness. Apparently, fucking idiot can also sub in for greatness, but hey, you know, whatever. So here's Dr. Gundry educating us on the dangers of eating fruit.
Grapes are the ultimate sugar bomb. Yeah, it's horrible for everything. For everything.
Oh, yeah, Lewis.
I think as a kid, like, oh, have some grapes. You like feed your kids these things, which is worse than a candy bar.
Worse than a candy bar. Yes, all the obese people out there that I just see shoveling grapes in their mouths. Oh, I could lose weight, but I just can't stop eating grapes.
And parents are feeding their kids apple juice and grape juice. And this apple juice is no good. Holy cow. If it's like fresh apple juice, or is it with these sugar additives? So when it says no sugar added on the label, what that means is there's so much sugar in here already, we didn't have to put any more in. What's the difference between an apple and apple juice? Well, they're both horrible for you.
They're both horrible for you.
Gosh, I thought apples were good for you with all the different vitamins. And an apple, when I was growing up, was this little bitty thing about that size, and maybe 4 bites and you were done with it.
4 bites?
Now it's the size of a grapefruit, and they got these names that ought to warn you, honey.
Can somebody show me these X-Men apples that are apparently the size of grapefruits? I can't seem to find them in the stores.
Crisp. That's the best kind. That's the best kind. Yeah, and it's like, wait a minute, and so good. Yeah, because it's pure fructose.
So it's actually not pure fructose. Doctor, you probably didn't learn this in medical school, but fruit is usually at most half fructose. There's a couple of fruits that are a little bit higher in fructose, but at most they're about half fructose. There are some that get up to like 60% fructose versus glucose, but yeah, it's not pure fructose. And in fact, even a big fucking apple would be like 30 grams of carbs at most, and that means it's about 15 grams of fructose. Not exactly a sugar bomb. Sorry, Doc. Oh, by the way, it would have quite a bit of fiber with that apple as well, and a bunch of micronutrients.
That if you want to impair your energy production, fructose is the gift from God to impair your energy production.
Okay, so this is what charlatans do. They use nebulous terms like energy production. I challenge you, Dr. Gundry. What do you mean by energy production? Now, maybe he's going to tell us here in a second. I bet he's going to talk some nonsense about the mitochondria and try to sound smart when in reality, he's a fucking idiot. Oh, by the way, he wrote the Plant Paradox, the previous book where he explained why plants are bad for us. So this doesn't surprise me. This is what these people do. They make extreme claims because it gets them on TV. Because mainstream media doesn't give a damn about scientific veracity. What they care about is getting eyeballs. So people like this who say crazy shit, mainstream TV knows, well, even if they're not right, they're going to get a lot of eyeballs on them. So they put them on TV. Energy production, very nebulous term. Now, if we want to talk about what energy production actually is, we could talk about the Krebs cycle, we could talk about glycolysis, and we could talk about oxidative phosphorylation.
First of all, you're throwing too many big words at me, okay? Now, because I don't understand them, I'm going to take them as disrespect.
Oh, which, by the way, fructose can be converted to energy. It's not going to impair energy production. I'll wait and see what he says before I talk about the next part.
Bananas too. Any fructose is just lethal to your mitochondria.
I knew it. Did I call it? I called it. Mitochondria. Lethal to your mitochondria. So, what do you mean by that, Doc? Lethal to your mitochondria. Does it just kill your mitochondria? Can't make energy anymore? So, let's just go down these mental gymnastics right now. He's saying fructose makes you fat, but he's also saying it impairs your energy production. If you have impaired energy production, and people who have impaired energy production, meaning they don't create energy from the foods they eat, an example of this would be people who have like a disorder where they have high numbers of uncoupling proteins, or people who take drugs that uncouple the inner mitochondrial membrane, which is how your body creates ATP. Long story, but basically creates a hydrogen ion gradient across the mitochondrial membrane, and that hydrogen ion gradient drives ATP production. If you uncouple that, then it makes ATP production less efficient. Those people lose tons of weight, tons of fat, because fat is energy. Your adipose is your body's stored energy. If energy production becomes inefficient, you actually burn more body fat. So this is a nebulous fucking term that this guy doesn't even understand, that he's contradicting himself because he doesn't even understand basic energy metabolism. If fructose was lethal to your mitochondria and impaired energy production, it would make you lose weight, not gain it.
Your fruit smoothie protein shake that you guzzle down to go work out is probably the worst possible thing you could do for your mitochondria and your energy. The worst.
There are some things that are just so, this guy, this is like Matt for mankind level. There are some things and statements that are so fucking dumb, they don't even require dismissing. He just spent 1 minute and 45 seconds rambling about nothing. He made claims with absolutely no evidence to back him up. So when he was even pressed for claims, he was kind of like, well, it's bad for your mitochondria. And he's thinking in his head, I really hope these people who are watching remember their high school class, because they learned about mitochondria being the powerhouse of the cell. And if I say mitochondria, maybe, just maybe it'll make me sound smart. Well, fortunately, there's people like me who actually did fucking research in metabolism, who understand it, and can tell you that this guy is full of shit. Once again, if fructose impaired your mitochondria, impaired your energy production, it would make you lose weight, not gain it. Some people ask about, well, fructose can't be stored as muscle glycogen. No, it can be stored as liver glycogen, which can then be released as glucose into your bloodstream, which can go to the muscle. There's several studies looking at comparing post-workout glycogen resynthesis in muscle with either sucrose, which is 50% glucose, 50% fructose, versus pure glucose, and they find that sucrose actually restores muscle glycogen just as well as glucose. It's fine if we're talking about muscle glycogen replenishment. And fruit literally has such low fructose in it compared to so many other foods that are bad for you. Fruit is high in antioxidants, high in fiber. It's actually usually pretty low in energy density. People who eat high amounts of fruits tend to be leaner, healthier overall, and have less disease. If this guy's hypothesis was right, that fruit was the worst thing for you, we would expect to see at least people who eat more fruit have more disease. But we don't see that. This guy is a scam artist, a charlatan. His first book was a scam. This book is a scam. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And I wish I could debate this guy on, I don't know, fucking put me on Podunk radio show in West Virginia. I don't care. I would debate this guy anytime, anywhere. But he will pretend like this video doesn't exist. He will pretend like I don't exist because he knows he would get fucking destroyed by an actual expert. Just one more point about fructose. Even when you get to super high levels, it is debatable whether or not fructose, in absence of a calorie surplus, is problematic. There are some people that say, well, if you replace fructose with glucose, you can actually reverse non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. There was a study done about a year ago where they took men and fed them 150 grams of pure fructose a day. Just for reference, remember, an apple, a huge apple at most, has about 10 to 15 grams of fructose. So you'd have to eat like 10 huge apples per day to get this amount of fructose. Well, they gave pure 150 grams of fructose. And they looked at what happened when these people were at energy balance. And what they found was nothing happened. They didn't gain weight. They didn't gain fat. Their livers didn't become fattier. There was no changes in any kind of, or there was no negative changes in any kind of health markers. Fructose does not seem to cause health problems in absence of a calorie surplus and especially not in moderation, and especially not when consumed as a part of a healthy diet containing a high amount of fruits and vegetables. Sorry, doc, time to turn your medical degree in or go back to school because you are full of shit. All right, guys, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and go tell Dr. Gundry that he should debate me. And let's see what he says.